What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, first of all, let me dispel some rumors about Manny Pacquiao. Some of you guys out there think I hate the dude, which is false. I don't hate him. I don't even know him to hate it. It's not even that serious. But I don't hate Manny Pacquiao. But I'm honest with myself, and I keep it real. So, I guess because I don't bow down to Manny Pacquiao as a god, and I don't think he's invincible. Some people think otherwise, but like I said, I have no problem with Manny Pacquiao. I'm still entitled to my opinion, just like he's entitled to his opinion, etc., etc. He's a good fighter. He's definitely a fighter who's put on classic performances. He was dominant for quite some time. I just think that Manny Pacquiao, along with fighters like Roy Jones Jr., fighters like even Sergio Martinez, they excel a lot based on their athleticism, their reflexes, their speed. And as they get older, some of those things start to naturally slow down, or just from being punched or being in wars, sometimes those natural abilities slow down, which makes them more vulnerable. Because Pacquiao's never been a fighter with finesse. Like, he's not going to necessarily fight pretty. He's actually showed many flaws. The only thing is he was so fucking fast in his prime or whatever that it was hard to capitalize on any mistake because he was able to overpower. If you're, it's like I used to work at Lowe's, and we had inventory two times, maybe one time a year, depending on what the store was doing. And if your store is allotted a certain percentage of shrink. Shrink includes anything like from damaged product that came in on the truck damage to shoplifters and things you have to mark off for customers. It's all shrink. So that's how much product your store is losing. And I seen our percentage, and then I was able to look at another store in Burbank, California, and they had a substantially higher percentage of shrink, and they were never on the naughty list and never got in trouble. So I was talking to my manager, and I was like, why, how come if our percentage is blah 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 0.78, we're getting these emails from district blah blah blah, and the Burbank store, they have a much higher shrink percentage than we do, and they're never on the conference calls that we had to take or whatever. And my manager told me it's simple. Burbank is a bigger store, it's a higher volume store, and they generate more money than most of the stores in the company. Therefore, they're allotted a higher percentage of shrink because their sales are basically outselling their shrink. And the reason I'm giving you guys this example is because that same rule applies, that same logic applies in the sport of boxing. If you are really great at one thing, it's possible you can overshadow or overcompensate or compensate for your lack, the things you do lack. So in that example, the Lowe's store in Burbank is such a busy store, it's such a high volume store that's constantly selling, they're able to outsell their shrink, and they still are profitable because they're making XYZ amount of money, and they have a high amount of shrink, but they also have more money and they're generating more money than other stores in the company. So same rule applies for Pacquiao, fighters like that. I think he was able to get away with coming in reckless because he has a chin, because he has the athleticism, and he has the speed to overwhelm and do that. And he made people fearful to punch with him and that kind of stuff. But as he gets older, I think he's more vulnerable. Now I'm really gearing up for this Brandon Rios fight. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it. Here's a clip from Brandon Rios. It's an old clip from a magazine with Brandon Rios, and this dude's been the same way. Some people call him one dimensional, whatever you want to say, but read the headline. It says this: nobody wants to fight him. Fearful opponents say this guy's too intense. Junior Brandon Rios has been very successful boxing in state and national tournaments, winning often and placing in all of them. He is headed to the USA national tournaments in January. Now, obviously, this is an old article before he turned pro and everything like that. And just on a side note, on this picture from the old archives with Brandon Rios, this motherfucker looks grown. He's a kid with a full-grown stash and just looking hella old for his age. It reminds me in elementary school, no bullshit, in elementary school, there's this kid named Byron. This motherfucker hair on his legs. He had armpit hair, and he had a goatee. Like, I bullshit you not. He had a goatee in the 5th grade. I was like, what the fuck? Or how'd you get that? Like, I didn't even know that. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, nobody had, like, facial hair like that. We had maybe a little bit of peach fuzz growing in. This motherfucker had a goatee. I was like, Tom Selleck? Like, who the fuck is this? But, yeah, Brandon Rios looks pretty old. Like, older than his age in this picture. He's known for that aggressive, intense fighting style. Max Kellerman was talking about it on the HBO Face Off and basically suggesting that he likes to get punched. This is his MO. So for the people who are counting Brandon Rios out totally, I think you guys are foolish. Pacquiao on paper should blow through Brandon Rios, but I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. And even if, let's say, he stopped Brandon Rios in the 7th or 8th round, I think he's really going to have to work for that. But I give Brandon Rios a shot because, again, this is the guy's MO. This is how he's been fighting. And he's fought different styles like this. And that's what he's used to. But as far as Manny Pacquiao, I don't have problems with the dude. I just don't rate him as high as some people perhaps put him. I don't think he's invincible. I don't think he's holier than thou, if you will. But to be perfectly honest, Manny Pacquiao makes me a lot of money on my channel. Every time I do a video about fucking Pacquiao, I get paid. I think the matchup, Egos, the matchup, Brandon Rios versus Manny Pacquiao, I don't even remember. I haven't checked in a while, but I know it was like over 20,000 views. And so Manny Pacquiao's doing me a favor because I'm getting paid every time I talk about that motherfucker. So I don't have any problems with them. Really looking forward to a good fight. And we'll see how much Pacquiao has left, how much that knockout took out of him. And we'll see how Brandon Rios performs under the biggest stage of his career, under the bright lights in Macau, China, a place that's clearly foreign to a guy from a small place in Kansas. And we'll see. I mean, that's like I said, I'm really gearing up. I'm anxious. Pacquiao is really confident. Freddie Roach is really confident, but so is Brandon Rios and Robert Garcia. They said they're no Margarito. They're coming with a game plan. Pacquiao is saying that he's dedicating his fight to the victims in the typhoon in the Philippines. So shout out to all the people in the Philippines. That is a very unfortunate circumstance, and I send my prayers and my regards to them, and hope they can recover and bounce back from this in a reasonable amount of time. And everybody send your love and support to the people in the Philippines because these natural disasters are no joke. And Pacquiao's dedicating, I guess he wanted to visit the areas, but he has to focus on the biggest comeback fight of his career probably, after a devastating Marquez knockout. And he decided to not go and visit the victims and more or less focus on training camp. And he wants to dedicate this fight to him. So the stakes are high for both fighters. For Pacquiao, it's really, I think he has more pressure just because he's the superstar. He's the global phenom. And another loss, that would be a 3rd loss in a row. And the 4th fight was the Marquez 3 fight, and he didn't look great in that fight. A lot of people thought Marquez should have won, so technically it'll be his 4th loss if you feel Marquez won the 3rd fight. So really the stakes are higher for Pacquiao. Brandon Rios just has to find a way to improve his defense, not take some of those shots flush coming from a person like Pacquiao, who's shown time and time again he has power. It's going to be interesting. They both have chins. They both sound hungry. And like I said, in boxing, timing is everything. So we'll see how much Pacquiao has left. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the dude. Dude gets me paid. So that's just that in itself is a reason to like the cat. But other than that, he's entertaining. His entertaining style. Let's go. Let's see this fight. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment. Motherfuckers never loved us. Remember, I'm a worst behavior. Sorry, I was listening to that song. Anyway, as always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next videos. Ego, signing off.